being a small creator is harder. I am very intrigued about this video. Actually, let me ask you guys this, right? Do you think being a bigger YouTuber is harder than being a smaller YouTuber? Like, do you think it's harder to have 500,000 subs and make content, or do you think it's harder to have 10,000 subs and make content? I would argue there's pros and cons to being a big YouTuber, and there's a lot of pros and cons of being a small YouTuber. Off the top of my head, I think being a smaller creator is easier. Obviously, it depends on what I'm talking about, right? I would rather be a small creator than be a big creator, which is ironic, right? Because I have a channel with 500,000 subscribers and I have this channel, which is 30,000 subscribers. How come you're not posting and streaming on your main channel? Because depending on the type of YouTuber you are, when you get big in a specific way, you can only make content in that realm. Like, for example, on my main channel, that channel is really big on Terraria and really heavily gaming based content, which is why I would not rather stream there, because this is like a variety. This is like a stream where I just want to relax and not worry about making content as mad. Not worry about like everything has to be as serious content. Does that make any sense? I think being smaller YouTuber is harder because you can't have YouTube as your only job. Being a smaller creator is hard in terms of you have to work an extra job. Your channel is smaller, so it's going to be harder for videos to blow up to a degree. You might not know how to make a good video or a good short or everything. Obviously, I'm saying this like within the context of my own channel, right? Like obviously there's bigger and better YouTubers than me. But yeah, I think those points are very valid on small YouTuber content, right? But also on the flip side, because you're smaller, you can have more reign and variety in how you make your content. I think the biggest difference between a small and a big YouTuber in how it's harder or easier for depending on the size of the channel is your goals. What are your goals on YouTube? Is it money? Is it clout? Is it a passion project? Is it for fun? It could be all of those things, right? But I feel like that's where it's harder or easier for a YouTuber. Like for example, for my main channel, it's easier to get more views and it's easier to make bigger and better content and have it blow up faster, but it's harder to do more variety. You could flip that for this channel. This channel is easier for variety. I can play whatever I want. I can stream whenever I want, but financially wise, doesn't make any sense. Like that's how I like describe it. If I had a choice between the two channels I have right now, my main channel or my second channel, which is this channel, I would keep this channel. Even though this channel is a fraction of the size of the main, in terms of my goals, this channel accomplishes my goals more than the main.
Show of hands, who remembers this girl?
Hello, I'm Janelle and I live in a van with my pet snake, Alfredo.
Janelle Eliana. July 4th, 2019, she posts her first video. Humble but impressive beginnings, about 20,000 subscribers. She posts another video. By July 19th, I gotta remove the stupid thing. She had 1 million. I gotta move.
Damn. He just has a hole punched in his wall. I think it depends on what you define as big or small. Yeah. Okay, let's say I think a big YouTuber, if you have over 100,000 subs, you are no longer a small creator. You're kind of like an average size creator. I think sub 100K, even sub 50K. Like if you have 50,000 subs, you're like a medium sized creator. If you have below 50,000, you're more on the smaller side. 100K and above, definitely a big creator. It's different nowadays because with YouTube Shorts, sub counts are massively inflated. Someone on YouTube Shorts can have 1 million subs and you might never even know them, which is fine. It depends on like the niche in which you describe it. But I would say general benchmark, if you're a big creator, probably above 50,000 subs to 100,000 subs, I think that's like medium sized creator. Anything below that is like a small creator. What's a big streamer to you? I don't know. I don't watch streamers.
Anyone. One video is all it takes for my biggest dreams to come true. That did not happen.
I agree. If you have one video that blows up, that does not guarantee anything. I think we see it a lot more nowadays where like shorts or TikToks blow up. When they blow up, a lot of the people that get like really lucky from that, they don't know how to capitalize on it, and therefore they fall off, or they quote unquote fall off. There's nothing wrong with that. I'm like, there's not, your view count is now who you are. Surprise, surprise. The process of becoming a YouTuber, if you want to make YouTube content, right? I'm saying this from a YouTube standpoint. The moment you become a YouTuber is when you have made like 50 videos and every video gets like 10 views. After you do that and then your first video blows up, I think that's when you're a YouTuber. Like that's when the work ethic is solidified and that's when you start your journey. I would argue that if your first video blew up, you would not know how to make good content. And if anything, that would hurt you in the long run, because if your first video blows up, then you would think that your success is defined by what you did in your first video, and that means you would try to recreate it and you would just be like a one-trick pony. From my experience, that's how I see it. There's a guy that did a 100 days Terraria Skyblock video and got like 2 million, and all his videos have low views. There's nothing wrong with that, but I would argue the reason why that happens is because you have to give what the people want, right? Like when you make content on YouTube, you are effectively selling time to someone. Like, hey, you have 15 minutes for lunch, watch my video, and everyone is competing for that. Think about it like this. If you are at a restaurant and you see the item that you ordered the most, or like, for example, let's say you like macaroni and cheese and you go to a joint, you've never eaten anything there and they have macaroni and cheese, you're probably going to order macaroni and cheese. With that being said, whenever you're watching other people's content, you're going to watch not for their personality, but for the premise of the video. Not to say that if you make a video and it blows up that people aren't watching you for your personality. Personality and video game content can make a good video together. That's why a lot of people blow up. That's why a lot of really good YouTubers, sometimes they might have like 100,000 subscribers, but every video they get or every stream or every whatever they do, all 100,000 of those people watch them for that, which is like, I think super cool. I think that's like one of the best things you can have as a creator. But with premise-based content, if you always make premise-based content, people will only watch you for that premise. If you always do challenge content, people will always watch your challenge content. To a degree, you can convert that into personality. Maybe you have your personality on the side of that. Like, hey, this premise is super cool. I beat Terraria with a steering wheel. I'm also really funny. And then people, you know, maybe like 1 out of 100 people watch you for your personality, right? That's like how a lot of people grow. That's how I grew. That's why people say that you fall off after 7 years. Like the average influencer dies off after 7 years. My time's coming up, dude. I got 3 years left in the can. 3 years from now, I'm gone. I'm dead. Sometimes people's personalities are better than the content that they make, but they don't capitalize on it because they're too scared. I have met so many funny creators that I didn't even know they were funny because all their content is premise-based, because some people only watch premise-based content, which is fine. Gets the views, gets the money, pays the rent, whatever. With that being said, a lot of people are also just scared to take that. You know, like they're scared to get 0 viewers on Twitch and stream by themselves, which is fine. Some people are scared to make clips of themselves on TikTok, even though they might find it funny. They're scared to do it, which is fine. Like that's why like everyone wants to be a content creator, but not a lot of people will make content. I have a lot of people in my life where they always ask me like, how do I make content? How do I stream? How do I make shorts? How do I blow up on YouTube? And I'll tell them how to do it or what you can do to put yourself in this situation to eventually blow up. And they just won't do it because they're scared, which is fine. I think that's okay.
Live the glorious lifestyle of the rich and famous just because most people generally agree that your videos give off good vibes. Then as the foremost leading expert on this subject, don't Google that. Also don't ask anybody. Also don't look down just a little bit and see how low my sub count is. You can just trust me. Then allow me to shed some light on my industry. For the
Let me sub to this guy. I already did. He has 500. I think he probably blew up from this video, huh? Because I remember I saw this video a year ago. He had way less subs in this. Almost 500K. That's crazy. Hell yeah, dude.
those of you who don't know, we just hit 1,000 subscribers on this channel.
Damn, bro. This video aged crazy.
Oh, please keep going. Yes, clapping is the proper response to that announcement. Also, may I add, it was with our 100th upload.
Yo, YouTube Studio, to anyone that wants to be a creator, YouTube Studio is poison. It is the worst thing you could ever do to yourself. If you cannot handle numbers or analytics or hate or whatever it is, or even in general, just for your mental health, do not download YouTube Studio. YouTube Studio will literally just ruin your mental health because all YouTube wants is for you to make a video and have it outperform your previous video, which is fine. Cool. Next video, you get double the views. YouTube gives you confetti. Amazing. You're happy. But the moment you upload something that doesn't perform as well, YouTube will tell you that your life is worthless. Gray arrows, thumbs down, like, oh, your video is not as good as the previous one, and it ruins your mental health. That shit ruined me for the first 2 years that I did YouTube. It's just so demoralizing. It's just telling you, dude, you're not good enough. I mean, in hindsight, you might be listening to me and be like, well, Adrian, obviously that's not the case. I mean, if you compare yourself from a year ago and you're getting, instead of 1,000 views per video, you're getting 5,000, well, you're way better off. YouTube doesn't tell you that. YouTube tells you in comparison to your most recent videos. And I think it's just so toxic. Like you can have, like, I think one of the best parts about YouTube is that you can upload a video, forget about it, and it blows up later on. Or you upload a video and a lot of people comment and they support it, but maybe it's just not as much views, but the community is supporting you. It happens a lot, but YouTube doesn't care. YouTube only cares about views to a degree. YouTube is my boss. If I get banned, goodbye everyone. My 3 years is coming up anyway. But what I mean by that is a lot of creators and a lot of my friends that's initially start YouTube, they will post videos and they'll make content and it will flop. But it doesn't flop. It's just how YouTube is. You have to literally upload and forget about it, or else you will literally live your entire day thinking you are a waste of space. That's how YouTube makes you feel. I've been begging for a YouTube extension to turn that off. I've heard a lot of YouTubers wanted to like reform the system. I think I watched Tommy in it and he covered, or he mentioned a conversation with YouTube where he was like, hey, do you guys know that this 1 out of 10 system ruins our lives? And YouTube just doesn't care. They just do it. Anyway, I'm sure there's a lot of other executive decisions that go behind it. Maybe it's a psychology thing. You know, YouTube at the end of the day is a business, right?
Oh my goodness, yes, clap louder. This is exactly the reaction I wanted. Oh my goodness. But let me be the first to say, amidst your roaring clapping, please don't stop, that all the work we put in to get to this very moment, none of it was worth it. I've been making videos on the internet for 2 years, and I've changed a lot. The type of videos, my style of making videos, my process, I've grown as a creative, and I've done so much in that time.
If you make YouTube videos for 2 years to no views, props to you. Whenever I meet new YouTubers, I don't look at their sub count. Initially, I look at their sub count sometimes. I don't care if you have 1 million subs. I don't care if you have 5 million subs. I know people that have millions of subscribers. I've met a lot of people when I went to TwitchCon, VidCon, etc. Right? And they're really nice. They're really cool. But the biggest thing that impresses me is just how long you've been in the game. When I first met a guy named Failboat, you guys probably know him. He does like Kirby content. He's been in the game for like 15 years, almost 15 years. That blows my mind. I don't care if you have 1 million subs. You've been doing this shit for 15 years, dude. That is insane. It's like the saying goes. It's like an old man in a field where men die young. Like seeing an old veteran, you were doing something right. Like that's the stuff that blows my mind. Also, I've seen a lot of small creators, they would grind for 2 years straight. That is commendable. That's insane. At that point, it's like you'll eventually blow up to a degree, right? You love Failboat? Yeah, he was really nice. We had a couple of friendly matches in the tournament. We won. He won the game-winning game. He was super nice. But remember Failboat from Exploding TNT era? No. I watched Exploding TNT, but I don't remember Failboat being in that. I think what YouTube Studios should do is compare your videos a year ago or toggle it off.
Like to thank the Academy, blah, 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 blah. Nobody cares. But if I'm being very honest, if I knew it was going to take me 2 years to get here, I probably would have never started. And to be very honest with you, I thought I would have reached this point a lot quicker than I did. I want to see if I can hit 1,000 by the end of the year. So young and stupid. I was gonna make videos for a living. I would be able to drop out of college. I'd be able to buy my parents a house. I'd show everybody that I grew up with and went to middle school with who didn't want to play with me on the monkey bars or didn't want to sit next to me at lunch because I wasn't one of the cool kids. They would see me online and I'd say, ha! I am one of the cool kids.
Unironically speaking, that is why I did YouTube. When I was a kid, I would get left out of the GTA 5 heist groups because that was when they first introduced it. No one wanted to be in my heist group, so I would just make YouTube videos. That's my villain origin story.
This is a lot more work than I thought it would be.
A lot of work. I'm gonna guess what he's gonna say. Being a creator is a lot of work in the context of it's a 24/7 job. I would argue that if you are a creator, you're thinking about it 24/7. You never go to sleep without thinking about the next video. And I think the thing that sucks with being a creator, to you know, obviously I'm not trying to compare it to a real job. There are difficulties with being a creator. I understand that, you know, at the end of the day, you get to stay home and play video games or whatever your creator job is, right? Some creators have it way easier than others. But I would also argue that you will never ever stop thinking about work. And I feel like a lot of people that stop becoming YouTubers, because I've met a lot of people that quit YouTube and they just go into, you know, like a corporate job. A lot of them, the biggest thing that they liked is they can clock out. They can stop working, go home and not thinking about work. Whereas I feel like a lot of YouTubers never have that. It's always you finish your biggest video ever, get a 1 out of 10, rake in a bunch of cash or whatever it is. It's a fun video. Everyone loves it. But now you have to make your next big one. That's like the biggest thing, I feel like. That's the most toxic thing about YouTube.
There's this really common assumption that this is easy. Now, is that true?
Yeah, to a degree.
Kinda? Look, I don't want to say it's like rocket science or brain surgery or whatever, but I'm like, it's hard work a little bit, kind of, maybe, I don't know. All the work they have to do is essentially deciding which video they're going to watch while they eat lunch. They do it for 10 minutes and then they leave a like. But to the person making the video, they have to brainstorm the idea, research the topic, write the script, rewrite the script, rewrite the script. Wonder if they're any good at script writing. Get the rest of my list here. We have edit the record.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, being a small creator is hard in this, but also some people build houses and scoop shit. I understand where he's coming from though. I understand what he's coming from, especially if you do all of this and you make a video, you think it's the best thing ever, or you know it's shit, you post it, it gets like no views. That's hard, right? I think that's the hard part. But like the reason why it's so hard is because eventually it'll be worth it to a degree.
Because you have to get good at selling yourself. For example, if you're a middle-aged woman and you want to make videos about Club Penguin, that's fantastic. But you have to understand, your goal is not to make videos about Club Penguin. It's to make me, a random stranger, care about videos about Club Penguin.
I understand what he's saying. He's trying to say, like, the goal of making a YouTube video is to have someone watch it. However, I will say there is overlap. You can make a video that someone wants to watch, but also make a video that you want to make. I think that's where a lot of success on YouTube comes from. It's figuring out that intersection. There's some YouTubers that are only, they care about what you want to watch. And there's some YouTubers that are only, they want to make what they want to make. I think the best or the top YouTubers do a combination of both. The reason why is because if you're making something you love and it's something that people want to watch, then you get the best of both worlds. Obviously, I think it's like a scale, right? You could tip it more in other people's favor. You could tip it more in your favor, right? But I feel like saying that every creator has to make content for other people, that's not necessarily true. Because you can make content that you inherently love to do and only you really like. But because you're making the content that you love to make, the world has 7 bajillion people. Eventually, there's going to be someone out there that will watch the content that you make, because inevitably speaking, statistically speaking, there are people that are like you to a degree, that will like the content that you make for yourself because they are inherently similar to you. That's how I see it.
Much of making videos is really not about making videos. It's about making videos seem interesting. You have to learn how to get good at marketing. Finish the video, you love it, you're laughing, you're crying. It's Oscar worthy. You put it out and you feel great. That's fantastic. Now do it again.
That is the problem. You have to do it again. You make a 1 out of 10, you got to do it again. You make your biggest video ever, you got to do it again. That's what YouTube is to a degree. That's you don't have to do that to be successful on YouTube. That's what YouTube tells you. They tell you with the confetti. They tell you that this is the best video you've ever made. Do it again. And you do it over and over and over again. You do it. I mean, I did that shit for like 3 to 4 years, or try to consistently for 2 years straight. Burns you out so fast. Eventually, there's a reason why so many people have second channels. Albino. So many YouTube. Doug, new channel. Every creator that I know just uploads to their second channel. Pyrocynical. Pyro Live all the time, right? Every creator just uploads a lot more to the second channel, because sometimes you want to make something without it being the best thing you've ever made. Sometimes you just want to do it and make a video and record without it being the biggest video ever.
But let's say you do all of that. You do all the work, you learn to sell yourself, and you're consistent with it. That is fantastic. But here's the thing, nobody is going to care for a very long time.
He's right. I think the hardest part about being a creator initially is just getting the views. Like, it is very discouraging to do. I had a friend, he was really into keyboards. He built a lot of keyboards, wanted to make like a keyboard aesthetic channel. Helped me build one, recorded a couple of videos, built his own keyboards, made a bunch of content on it. He loved making the videos. He loved it. He thought it was super sick. Posted the videos, 5 views. Posted the shorts, 5 views. And I think that's the hardest part about content creation initially. Some people don't care about it. You can tell people to not care about it, but inevitably it's just like, it just ruins your mental.
Why is that? Well, let me tell you, the answer it's quite simple, really.
You people suck.
There's too many options. To illustrate, think of your favorite Chinese takeout place. They have no less than 5,000 items on the menu, yet you order the same 3 every time.
Why did he call me out? General Soy chicken, sesame chicken, roast pork. Maybe some French fries.
There are just too many options, so you stick with what you know you will like and you never change it ever. But what are the chances you're gonna try the 5,001st thing they put on the menu? The new version of sugary fried chicken bites with rice. Never. You're not gonna do it. Put the sweet.
Do you guys order Chinese food? Genuine question. Don't remember the last time I ordered Chinese food. Like, not like real Chinese food, like fake American Chinese. You go to the Chinese corner store, they got crab rangoon, General Soy chicken, sesame chicken, lo mein. You're too white. No, like, it's not even just being too white. It's just like, I don't know anyone nowadays that orders Chinese food anymore. Before, back then, my parents used to order it often. It was really affordable. Like, you can get a lot, you could feed the whole family for like 15 bucks. But now it's like, you order 2 dishes, it's like $50. It could just be my neighborhood. I love Chinese food, but it's hard to find actual Chinese food that isn't Americanized Chinese food. That's a great way to put it. I will argue, if you want authentic Chinese food, you just gotta go to a Chinatown. But the thing is, like, most people don't have Chinatown. I would argue that, like, you can, honestly, frozen Chinese food is not even that bad. I don't know if you've ever had like frozen orange chicken. Pretty good. Food is pretty expensive now. Yeah, I mean, it's just, we're gonna be like 40 and we're gonna be complaining about how food costs like $50. Like a McDouble is $40.
People are shallow. We say we want to be different, but really we are liars, because 90% of the time we would just like to conform to what everybody else does in peace. Don't believe me? You ever notice how in any video somebody says hot hot take, it's followed by just a really boring fact of life, and then everyone in the comments agrees. If thousands of people are agreeing to something, then was it really that unpopular of an idea?
I get that. Having a quote unquote hot take that is a very agreeable thing. I think some people just use hot take just to say it. Like, I'll say no homo, but like I would actually suck someone's dick. I feel like people just say hot take just to say hot take, just to spice up the video script. I feel like it's just lost its meaning to a degree. It's like, fuck, what's another word that's like lost its meaning that's like really, really annoying? I think people say it to cover their asses in case people actually disagree with them. Yeah. Kill myself is a great one. I would argue that it's just, people just say it, just to say it, right? Think about it like this. It's kind of like engagement bait. Hot take, I love women. And people are like, well, that's not a hot take. Well, then boom, engagement bait worked, right? I think people, a lot of people do it just for engagement. I mean, look at Twitter. Twitter, you make money off of engagement bait. Hot take. I'm not going to say any hot takes because I can't think of any, but like hot take, I hate Oreos. Some people just lie. Some people fucking LARP. The world is just full of liars, dude. What can I say?
Views comes across as low budget and frankly very loser-like. Because you don't want to be the first one to watch it. It probably sucks. That's not worth your time. You're important and your lunch is getting cold. Are you really gonna risk it on a video that you might not like? No.
He has a good point. Why would you ever watch a video that has 10 views? It's probably hot shit. Actually, have you guys ever watched a video that has 50 views? Like maybe the title and thumbnail are super appealing, but sometimes that could be the case. And if the video has 50 views, I'll just not watch it because the views are kind of like a reassurance. Like, oh, this video is worth watching. I think once a video has above 10,000 views, I will watch it. That's how it is. Overstimulated is so, here's one that lost its meaning. ADHD. I think ADHD has lost its meaning, or autistic. I think over the past 4 years, people have spammed I have ADHD, I'm slightly autistic so goddamn much. I've never heard that word used more in my entire life. And I know autistic people. I know people that have ADHD. I hop on TikTok. I just see so many people talk about it. I think it's lost its meaning. Like if you call someone autistic, or I'm slightly autistic. Like I feel like people just throw the word around like as a buzzword. I think now people say that they have ADHD to fit in. Maybe I'm growing too old. Maybe I'm out of the loop. But like I love low view count videos. It's how I find new and interesting creators. Yeah, I would argue that's actually a very good thing. I'm just saying I feel like sub 10,000 views or maybe on sub 1,000 views, I would never watch a video. But then again, like a lot of content, sometimes like the views are wrong.
And it makes the workload for a smaller creator a lot harder than they probably realized it would be. Because at the end of the day, people are vain, and you have to put almost more work into making the video look like it'll be interesting than actually making the video interesting. Why did you click on this video? Did you like the thumbnail? Did the title interest you? If it did, great. I did my job, and that's a compliment. Thank you.
And how did that make you feel?
To me, it's what I imagine starting a small business is like. You're putting a lot of time and effort into a new venture that you're hoping will make some sort of money. And let's be honest, I don't care what anybody says, you're in this for the money. You're not better than me. We all want money. I don't care if you're like, oh no, I'm only in it for the love of the game. I'm an artist. Yeah, you're an artist who wants money. So you open up shop and literally any sort of attention is a win. Well, I assume similar to a small business or an artist, you're not fully respected by other people until it's successful. It's not something that you can really brag about or frankly talk about openly because you think people might judge you because you're not making money yet. Am I in frame?
Okay, I kind of understand the point he's trying to make. People don't respect you until it works. That actually makes sense, but you could also, a lot of people, once you succeed, they hate you. I've had so many people dislike me because I have a successful YouTube channel. People just hate change, and when you start doing something that they're not used to and it works for you and they cannot process or fathom that, they hate that, or they're unfamiliar with that and they process that unfamiliarity with hate, or they're just confused about it. I know so many people that literally dislike me because because of my name or because of my YouTube channel, which is fine. That's okay. Like, honestly, at the end of the day, people will hate for no reason, right? Like, that's just how it is. That's why people make fun of you when you're initially making content, right? Which is fine. That's why it's much better when you work, when it works out. People want you to do well, but not better than themselves. Yeah, exactly. That's literally what it is. Once you get bigger than them, once you start accomplishing things that they can never process for themselves, they will hate you. That's okay. Right? People are people, whatever.
I would love to believe how this works. You get better and better, and with time, your views and attention goes up and up, but it's not. It's never linear. It's just weird.
Progress on YouTube is not linear, it's a spiral. When you make videos every day and they are getting better 1% at a time, you are technically improving. You are getting better and better and better and better and better. But the views might not show that they're getting better and better and better. The reason being is because YouTube has to find out what audience watches your video, which is why progress is a spiral. I always tell my friends that make content, or like the smaller creators that I talk to, the way that success on YouTube works is when it rains, it fucking pours. When you grind for 2 years straight and you figure out how to make good content, or finally your content pops up on the algorithm, all of those old videos will then pop up and do well. The way that I think of it is it just takes 2 years to get good at the craft and make good videos and then pop off. And then from there, you could do like whatever you want to do. I think one of the best things you could do as a creator is to just not look at views. I think if you define what you want from the job, that will help you achieve that success faster. If you define that you want a passion project out of it, if you have a specific creative goal, a specific type of video that you want to make, those goals help you do that. The views come with that. If you make a video that is so incredibly unique that you love and no one else can recreate, that you love and you are so passionate about, the views come with that. I would argue that the more you think about the views, the harder it is to make a video that will blow up to a degree.
Sometimes it just fails. And you can try adjusting thumbnails and titles and tags. And yeah, I'm sure that'll do something sometimes for some people, but most of the time, you just have to do it again and hope. Which is such an interesting mental thing, because it's been said that the definition of insanity is to do the same thing over and over and over and expect a different result, but that's exactly what you're doing.
No, you're not doing that. I understand you are, to a degree you are doing that. You're making a video over and over again, but the difference is if you are really trying to become greater, subconsciously speaking, you are improving from the last video. If you make 100 videos in a year, after, you know, every 3 days you make a new video, let's say a brand new video a week for 52 weeks, you are making a video. The next video you make will be done faster, it will be done better, thus it is different. If you actually do the same shit for 52 weeks straight, well, yes, you are fucking insane. Yeah, that is the definition of insanity. But if you are approaching this with, I want to be a good YouTuber, well, it's not, I need to make a video that needs to blow up. It's more so, I need to learn how to become someone that can make a good video. Half the shit that you're doing for 2 years or for a year or however long you want to decide to become a YouTuber and learn how to do the craft, you have to become that person. You're not immediately, for example, like let's say for like the gym, you go to the gym one time, you're not in shape. You need to do things that will get you in shape, which is go to the gym every 2 days, 3 days, 4 days. If you go to the gym 3 times a week for a year straight, you are someone that is in shape because someone in shape would go to the gym 3 days a week. Conversely speaking, if you make a video a week for a year straight, by the end of the year, you are a creator because a creator would make a video once a week for a year straight.
I mean, you're getting a little bit better every now and then, but you're essentially making the same thing over and over and over, and you keep hoping that it'll be different, and then it's probably not going to be. You do start to feel a little crazy. At the end of the day, it's just...
I relate with that. Yeah, I relate with that. You do go, even if every video is 1% better, eventually it will snowball, right? Eventually it does snowball, but you do go crazy. I mean, for my second channel, for this channel in particular, I uploaded quote unquote daily videos for like 2 years, and only until this year with a couple more series that the channel started picking up, right?
It only makes you question, am I good at this? Am I talented? Am I funny? Is this worth it?
Is it worth it? I'm gonna say no. Best advice, quit.
Because you just have to accept that, yeah, I might suck at this. Most people do, but
you will suck. If you make videos for the first time ever, you will suck. Even nowadays, I still think my videos suck. I think with that mindset, you go into the game thinking, well, how do I make it better? And those choices to make it better will eventually make a really good video. I think it's a little bit of a toxic way to think about things, depending on how you view it. Like if you always think your videos suck, well, that's just bad mental. But going into the game with the mindset of, I know I need to make a better video because I don't know how to make a good video yet. And that is eventually, when you make a good video, it'll blow up. I think that's a way better mentality. To a degree. I've seen some really, really good videos flop, even though they're really, really good videos. But at the end of the day, YouTube is YouTube, right? Depends on like what you want to accomplish out of the job.
Get over it. You get better. And then eventually you suck less. The question is for you, is it worth the effort to get from here where you suck and you're bad at this to get over here where you're slightly less worse at this? Because it's a long journey. And for some people,
Years.
the answer is no.
The
That's
answer is
fine.
no, yeah.
It's good to get that out of the way now so that you can spend your time doing something that you would enjoy and that you would get better at. But if the answer is yes, we've got work to do. It's very important that as much as possible, you remove your emotions from this process, or at the very least, do not let them dictate your actions.
It's hard to do that. It's hard. I know what he's talking about. It's hard. You have to be more analytical when it comes to the success on YouTube, especially like, for example, if you want to make a funny content, but you're not funny, you have to come to terms with that. And sometimes people cannot do that. That's really, really hard. You have to literally be able to like look at it from a third person perspective and be like, hey, I want to make funny content, but I'm not funny. What do I do? You can either stop trying to make funny content or you can try to become more funny. And I feel like a lot of people cannot do that. I think inherently speaking, a lot of the success on YouTube also just comes from the fact of people being naturally gifted at what they do and making a content that no one else can create. And a lot of people look at content they want to make, but they're not good at it. I'm not saying you can't be good at it, but some people are just naturally gifted at stuff.
As we discussed in the previous video, failure
you were a
does not
gifted
make
kid
you a
7 years ago.
failure. Just because you
Whoa.
can do fractions as an 8-year-old does not mean you do not deserve love. You have to view failures as a learning experience. This flopped. Okay, why? What do I need to cut? What do I need to add? Post, get feedback, adapt, try again.
Yeah, that's how it is. And sometimes it gets really unhealthy, but that is, I think, one of the fastest ways to grow on YouTube. Cut out what doesn't work. Use what does. Harder to do in practice and harder to do emotionally, but I think it does help if you have more than one channel to help test that out.
Despite the numbers or anything else, I can always take pride in that over these 2 years, I have grown as a speaker, as a script writer, as an editor, and as a fourth thing. It has also recently changed my mindset towards work and patience and believing in myself. Not too much, but also not too little. You gotta find the balance, but I've learned it. I'm doing it. And now, even if this were the last piece of media I ever made, at least I now have an entire library of dumb ideas that became reality. And no one can take that from me. Unless YouTube deleted my channel, but that would be rather rude of them. I'm kind of hoping they don't do that.
That was a good video. Very good. But yeah, I think the biggest key to success on YouTube, the biggest thing that you could do, this is my advice for every small creator, or if you want to be a creator, define why you want to do it. If you want to do it for money, you can say that. Just be honest. If you want to do it for money, for creativity, for passion, for clout, for whatever you want, if you can define what you want to do it for, it makes it easier to make a video that will help you accomplish that step. If your goal is to make a community, then success is different than a different YouTuber. If your goal is to make a community rather than financial freedom, right? And you make a video and a couple people comment, you've already accomplished something in that goal. And I think that's something that a lot of small creators don't do enough. And that's where they get stuck in the weird headspace of the algorithm.